that Patron, that good old stuff you like. I'ma be your bartender, I got you. I know we fucking twice, yeah.
So, first things first, tipping is a little out of control, okay? Tipping is kind of out of control, no shade. And yeah, tipping is out of control. I went to Subway and a girl, she asked for a tip to make my sandwich. So I feel like tipping is a little out of control. So I kind of just wanted to talk about it. This is like a new setting. Well, I wouldn't say a new setting, but this is my first time going live, so it's a little wonky. All right. So if I seem stressed out and it is 2:25 in the morning. Okay. So yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So, the first subject is going to be about tipping because tipping is so funny because I know it's this trans girl who's on YouTube and she's a waitress. And bitch, she bashed the girls about tipping. And it's mostly the black people she bashed. And I'm like, girl, you black. Black as fuck, by the way. It's always the blackest bitches. But she be like, yeah, black people don't tip. They don't want to tip. When I see their table, I go the other way. Da, da, da. I feel like it's the same. I feel like white people feel the same too. They don't want to tip too. And then when you walk in that bitch and you know that you already paying a tip for service that you probably didn't even like or didn't even have a chance to have a say so on, of course your attitude gonna be like, well, bitch, that's all they getting. You know what I'm saying? So, but this one was funny. Let's check
I
her.
keep trying to tell y'all, gratuity is not supposed to be included in the bill. How you gonna tell me I'm grateful? How that work? Look at this shit, y'all. It's on page 16. I remember this shit vividly. Look at this. Wait till it come up. And it's the Cheesecake Factory. Wait to see what it say, y'all. Where we at? Let me move myself. Where we at with it? Come on, page 16. Look at this shit. Tipping is entirely voluntary. For the convenience of our guests, come on, you read it too slow out here. For the convenience of our guests, we add an 18% suggested tip to all parties of 8 or more. But payment of that amount is not required. But look, keep on. Our guests always have the right to determine how much they'd like to.
First off, bitch, the tipping information is on page 16. So of course, if you're hungry or if you're going there for like a good time, you're not gonna read that part. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna read on page 17 where it says all of this stuff, you know? My thing is 20% is where I'll start, right? If you do better then well, if you do a shitty job, first of all, no, I'm just being real. I'm not gonna tip you because I mean, what? How you gonna bully me into tipping you? But I start at 20%. If you're good, then I increase. You know, like it could be 50%. Shit, one time I tipped the same amount I ate. You know, because the service was so good. So I feel like it has to do with service, but I feel like this is getting out of control because some waitresses and waiters they feel like they just don't have to give you service because they're already gonna be tipped. I think that's where the run-in comes at with people. You know what I mean?
Did I miss something? Because I'm completely
She funny as
confused.
fuck.
So I just go to Dairy Queen to get an ice cream and a blizzard for Doodlebug.
Girl,
So
not
my
Dairy
total
Queen.
was $7.68. So I gave the lady $8 in cash. So she takes my $8 and she says, a minute later, she comes back to the window. Do you really want your 32 cents?
Not do you really want? Bitch
And
is
I looked a little
mine.
confused. I said, yes. So she kind of got an attitude. Okay. So she closes the window. So I'm sitting here like, why would I not want my change? I'm just a little confused. So she comes back and she's going to give me the 32 cents. And I'm like, do people not normally want their
Hold
change?
on.
Because I'm confused by what the hell just happened. And she says, well, people normally tip. The fuck? What is going on with this tipping culture? I fully understand tipping when I am getting a service done outside of their normal job. Like if I'm ordering groceries, if I am going to a restaurant and they are serving me my food, if I'm at, wherever that they do not make a full salary, what the hell am I tipping you for? You're already getting paid to work at Dairy Queen. So what am I tipping you more for? I am confused as hell. So now she has an attitude because I want my 32 cents and change. Absolutely, I want my 32 cents. The fuck is wrong? Look.
He said, the fuck is wrong? So that was my thing. I went to Subway. A girl rung up I don't even, she didn't even fix my sandwich, right? She was just a cashier. And this place called Velvet Taco is really horrible with it too. Like they'll literally look at you like, hello, bitch, and then they'll flip the screen around and it says 10%, 50%, 20%. They'll flip it around like, I'm like, no, you know what I'm saying? You just only rung up my shit. If it's that bad and you're working at these jobs and you're not getting paid at all that bad, then I feel like you should take that up with the corporate. Like you should take that up with who you're working for, because if they're just not fucking paying you and they want the customers to pay, that's wrong, don't you think? That's just kind of how I feel. But that's kind of what she talking about. She went Dairy Queen to get a damn ice cream, and the girl didn't want to get her change back. No, ma'am. So I feel like all this tipping shit too, it needs to be brought to the attention of the corporate offices, because they know how much they paying y'all, and they want y'all to be mad at the customers. What? That's crazy to me. That's crazy. But yeah, so I am happy, like I am live. It took me a little while to get everything connected, to get everything connected, because I went live with gaming, but I never went live with just, talking and kind of screen sharing where y'all see what I have or whatever. So, but yeah, here's my TikTok if you guys want to follow. And his finance.
I just feel like restaurants that add their own gratuity are bold as fuck. Because who the fuck said you was a good waiter? What if I didn't want to give you 18% gratuity? I just feel
No
like
shade.
restaurants that add their own gratuity are bold as fuck. Because who the fuck said you was a good waiter?
Yeah, so I'm gonna hang this conversation up though, because I feel like the waiters feel differently than the tippers, and the tippers feel differently than the waiters. And I feel like this might be a subject that you just cannot win one of those subjects, you know what I mean? So we might have to just move on.